Alrighty, friends, welcome to What It Takes, a mini-series where I ask the same questions to elite coaches, and they talk about what it takes to become an elite coach. I'm your host, Kevin Shaw, and today we are talking with two-time elite coach, Sarah Molnar. Sarah, welcome to What It Takes.
Thank you. I feel like I'm like on a game show here.
I love it. Hey, Sarah, before we get started, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
So I am a mom of four. I'm also a past certified personal trainer. And I just kind of work this business in the cracks of my life, to be honest with you, like running kids to school and preschool. And that's kind of how I've built this business for the past 2.5 years. So that's kind of who I am.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's dive right into those questions. Sarah, tell us, how were you introduced to Beachbody?
Okay, so this is a funny story because I actually have been doing Beachbody for a really long time. I just never knew it because I have a VHS tape, now I'm dating myself, of Tony Horton. And I actually brought it when I spoke at Leadership 2 years ago. Like legit VHS tape of like Power Abs. I know, right? And, you know, I've always followed Beachbody. Who doesn't know who Shaun T is? You know, and I've always seen the infomercials. And I remember after I had my fourth child, I was nursing her and watching T25. I'm like, okay, so if I started this now, in 2 months, I could be here. And I kept doing that to myself. And then I finally went on to Facebook and I just typed in insanity in like the little search bar and my coach's like page came up. And I just kind of like connected with her, but I always felt like this isn't for me. I'm a personal trainer, you know, like I'm not like a Beachbody coach. You know, I had that whole stipulation of everything. And then I started following other coaches and seeing exactly what they do. And I thought, this is what I do. Like, this is what I do. I share my life anyway. So, you know, I used to take people to the grocery store and teach them how to eat. And I thought, you know, maybe this is for me. And I thought about it for over a year. Wow. Like for the first like 8 months, I wanted nothing to do with it. I kind of thought I was above it, which is so not like me. But I just thought, I don't know what that is. It's MLM, not for me. Like, that's not my cup of tea. So then I just started seeing all these other coaches, and I saw another girl sign up. I'm like, you know what? I said to my husband, I sat down, I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try it. I'm going to reach out to this girl and let's see what happens. And from there, I mean, it's like fast forward. That's really how I was introduced to Beachbody. So I bought P90X3 and Shakeology. And the first time I tried Shakeology, I hated it. My coach sent me a sample, but I didn't make it right. And then I just got to it where I realized, you know, it was kind of like yogurt for me. I'm like, okay, I got to make this work. You know, it's good for me. So that's kind of how it all unfolded.
Fun story. I love it. What a long time to become a coach.
I know.
Okay, so the next question then, once you became a coach, describe what those early days looked like for you.
So this is kind of funny. Like I said, I'm a mom of four. I was still nursing my fourth child. And I started this business in June of 2014. June, guys, when all the kids are out of school. So I look back now and I'm like, how did I make that happen? And I'll tell you how I made it happen. To me, it was a non-negotiable. I thought, okay, I got to get up early. I got to stay up a little bit later. I didn't watch as much TV, but I didn't really care. And my husband was very, very leery at first, but then he saw my momentum and how many people I was helping and how, again, it started to, you know, create this business. But it really was me grabbing my phone at the deli counter, checking in with challengers, putting it down, me saying, hold on, guys, I have a call, you know, I'll get you, give mom 20 minutes. So those early days, they were tough, but I look back on the past 2.5 years and I really wouldn't change a thing because it got to me to where I am, to have that freedom, not just financial freedom, but the freedom to say, hey, I'm going to work for a couple hours and I'm going to go, you know, grab my daughter at preschool and go to lunch. So everything that I did in those beginning days, even though it was daunting and, you know, the ebbs and flows of business will always be there, but it was more so the discipline to know this is what I had to do, sit down, put my head down, get to work, because with 4 kids, I can't dilly-dally. I'm like, okay, I got a half hour and they're going to come at me like seagulls, like they're going to want to eat. So I put my head down and got to work and just really just focused on those vital behaviors. I focused on the vital process, even though it wasn't called that, and really just knew that I wanted to make this business. It wasn't if this business was going to happen, it was this business, this is our way out.
Very cool. Well, I love that answer. I love that you were so disciplined in the beginning because of that, you are where you are today. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What do you feel are some attributes or habits you have that contribute to your success?
Organization. Like I have to be, just because not just with, my kids, but I'm I don't want to say OCD because there's a bad label with OCD, but my kids know what's next in the house, how it all flows. And that's kind of how I treat my business, from old school. Like I'm not like tech savvy, but like I have a whole index card of my coaches and what their goals are.
Wow, look at that.
And I don't even do it by last name, guys. I do it by first name because then I'm like, wait, what's their last name? But they don't have it on Facebook. So it's all about organization. I have a planner. I have this whole YouTube, video about how I became 2-star in 4 months. And it's out there, but it's really just about starting the organization. Not saying, it's kind of like how we teach our challengers. Like, it's not about clean out your whole kitchen and get weights and get this. It's just start.
Yeah.
And then after time, it will come together. So am I 100% organized? No, but I'm slowly making dents each day to become that much more organized. So that when I sit down and I have a to-do list, I can go through it, shut off Facebook and all the alerts. Even if it's 17 messages start to pop up. Nope, I got to get through this. Same thing with like, I know I have to eat lunch before my kids or I will starve. So I know I have to plan that out. Like, okay, they're going to want to eat, especially in the summer, and I got to feed them all. Like I have to eat before them or it won't happen. So I know I have to get these vital things done before my business can start to, grow even more.
That gets me all pumped up hearing that. This seems like you're not perfect. You're not ever going to be ready. You just need to start.
You just really do. And I think that's what we tell our challengers all the time. Like, don't worry if it's, brown rice or white rice. Just, just start. Just make that dent. Just focus on no sugar. And that's what we have to do with our business.
Love that. Okay, perfect. This is going so well. So, Sarah, what advice do you have for a brand new coach who doesn't know where to start? What can they do today to start achieving long-term success?
So it's funny because I'm actually doing a team call about long-term goals today. And I think a lot of it is, and it might not be the answer a lot of new coaches want to hear, but you got to put your big girl, boy pants on and take initiative. So you can't just, I did the training and sit back and go, now what? It's all about being, again, disciplined to say, I'm going to focus 20 minutes and search some YouTube videos on some top coaches or a question I might have. And it doesn't mean that their answer is the answer. Take all that information, and that way you can say, okay, I got, 10 different things that people have said. I'm going to try and imply these based on who I am as a person. Instead of like, if you were a pregnant woman, you wouldn't take like 10 moms and go, I have to do every single thing that they say. No, you're just going to take little tidbits. So when you have a question, go to Coach Relations. You don't get the right answer, call again. Francisco and I, those first 6 months, I called him like 3-4 times a day because I knew this was my business. It was my responsibility. I couldn't blame anyone but myself if I didn't get to where I went at the time frame that I wanted to go. So it was about going on YouTube and doing training, diving back into the training, going to the back office, understanding, taking it in, listening to those Shakeology podcasts. They're amazing. There's 74 posts just in one podcast. So really, I would say as a new coach, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be excited. That's totally normal. I'm still that 2.5 years later. But knowing that if you have a plan in place of where you want to go, be patient, be consistent, don't give up, and you will eventually get there. It's like when snow falls in Buffalo, New York, it totally falls. And you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh my gosh, look at all this snow. It is. It's that compound effect of what you do every single day, of all the stuff that you don't think really matters, but people are watching you. It's about that consistency and that patience to show up.
Man, whew. Love it. This is great. Okay, almost there. What about the coach who is struggling or is thinking about giving up? What advice do you have for that person?
Well, I think that's totally normal. I think there isn't a coach out there that hasn't thought, oh my God, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I'm sure that my success partner is a top 10 coach that goes through these, we all go through that. I think it's okay. It's normal. It's so normal to feel like this weekend I wasn't feeling well, so I couldn't connect with my team. I couldn't connect on social media as much as I wanted to, but it's okay. I came back. So as long as you're having that connection with really, we talk about that why, but more so that maybe this business isn't about you. It's about who it's going to affect. So I feel like, how selfish is it of us to give up on something that could change someone's life? Maybe it's not the person that's buying the challenge pack. Maybe it's the sister that sees the person doing this every single day. So I look at it as, if you want to give up, you're not giving up just on yourself, but you're giving up on the potential of all these people's lives that you could change. And I always tell my coaches, when you are excited and you're hitting Success Club and you're rocking it out, take a video of yourself on your phone, telling your future self why you shouldn't quit. Because I can tell you why not to quit, and you could be like, whatever. But when you're watching that video, you're like, I remember that girl, and I want to be that girl again. And sometimes you just have to tell yourself to shut up and just do it, and just go back into the motions of what you need to do.
Gee whiz, that is a great idea. I love that idea of video. Okay, last hard question here. What is the best advice you've received regarding your personal business?
So as a 12-star diamond coach, and it happened very quickly, and then some started to drop. And when you drop rank, you feel like you're like, oh, like you're doing something wrong. And I remember my one success partner said, the coaches you have now will not be the coaches that get you to Superstar Diamond. And I've realized that although this is a very personal business, if someone quits the business, it's not your fault. We can't take it 100% personally, but you know what? There are millions of people out there, and us not sharing this opportunity that not only financially changed our life, but physically changed our life. Like, there's so many people out there. So as a new coach, a veteran coach, I think the best advice I could receive is just continue to work with the willing, make them your best friends, and also find new people all the time. And I know people are like, where do I find them? Just continue to put yourself out there, continue to connect with those coaches that are on your team that may be a little bit hesitant. Always have that open door policy with not just your personally sponsored coaches, but your entire downline. You could be like the great grandma of the team and work with all of them. So I think the best advice is be consistent, be patient, and always be willing to find new people to present this opportunity to.
Love it. Boy, this is great. Okay, on to the speed round. These are just questions I'm going to ask. I just need quick answers right off the top of your head.
Is there a buzzer?
I wish there was. That'd be funny. All right, Sarah, on average, how much time do you spend working your business?
On average, I would say on average about 2.5 hours a day.
Okay, great. What's your average SC each month?
I usually hit between 15 and 25.
What percentage of time do you focus on your own business versus your team?
I'm probably about 60-40 team, 60 and 40% my business. As long as I've hit Success Club and I'm still going toward my goals, then I put a lot of emphasis on my team. That's just, yeah.
Okay. And what leadership ladder rung are you at right now?
Organization leader.
Very cool. Okay, guys, it is time for questions from a hat. The point where Sarah has no idea what question I'm going to ask. And the question today is, what is your favorite Disney movie?
Oh my gosh, I don't like any of them anymore because we watch them over and over and over again. My favorite Disney movie, well, we watched Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas about 452 times. So I don't know. I'd have to, that's a tough one. I don't even know what's Disney and what's Pixar anymore because we just saw Sing.
I think Disney and Pixar are the same. I think they are.
Is it? I don't know. Is Sing Disney? We just saw that and I love that. Listen, any Disney movie that keeps my kids quiet so I can, work on my business a little bit more. Let's be real here as mama folks.
I love that the hardest question was the question from a hat. That was the hardest question.
A Disney movie, because I don't know what's Disney and what's Warner Brothers. I don't know any of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sarah, so much for your time. Guys, this is What It Takes with Sarah Molnar. Thank you.